Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming back to you now, getting ready to jump into the second map, and it should be going live at any moment here. In fact, everybody should be ready in a second. So, as once again, for those of you that are just joining us, it's going to be Fnatic versus PiTER here. Fnatic just took the first map, and a pretty strong outcome there, and took away PiTER's map choice, too. That was back over there on Mirage, and now we're going to be jumping on a Fnatic's map choice, which is over here on Cash versus PiTER. PiTER, of course, I mean, just to talk about them and how they did in the first half, we saw, you know, obviously things really didn't go so well at the beginning of the first half for them, but they managed to piece it together and figured out how to successfully defend against the offensive that was coming up there from Fnatic towards the beginning of the first half there. So they clutched it out, and they managed to bring it up to about 5 or 6 points within about 1 or 2 points of the overall Fnatic scoreline. But unfortunately, Fnatic pieced things back together too towards the later portion of the half, ended up leading 9-6. Second half, though, and this specifically on the CT, or specifically I should say on the T side of PiTER, things just got very, very brutal for themselves to work with there. And unfortunately, I believe they were only able to pick up like 1 round in that entire half. So definitely going to have some issues to look at now on the T side of PiTER, specifically against the sort of iron wall defense here coming out from Fnatic. But we'll see how that pans out now as we go into the knife round. This is a best of 3, obviously. So the winner of this one, if it ends up being Fnatic, that's going to end the set into their favor. And they'll take home the group stage points for today. But if PiTER bounce it back, then we'll go on to a third map, which I believe is going to be over on the Dust 2 if needed. And by the way, in case anybody doesn't have the Half-Life TV page up and needs to know the bans that ended up coming out there as well, in case you care about that sort of stuff. The first ban went towards PiTER, and it was Train that got banned out there. Fnatic picked the second one, which was Inferno. PiTER picked the third one over on the Overpass, and Fnatic picked the fourth one on the Cobble. Following that, of course, we had the usual picks that we've already played out. PiTER picked the first map over on Mirage, and Fnatic picked the map that we're jumping onto right now, which is Cash. So here we go, guys, jumping right into it. And for the guys on PiTER, they are going to be able to get that start once again over on the CT side. So hopefully they can start things off a little bit better here on Cash. Cash as well, it's going to be a little bit more of an even map for them to work against here. So hopefully should be a little bit better towards themselves, and Fnatic won't have as easy of a time closing things out here with it being a very popular map among both European and North American teams now. Definitely a favorite among North Americans, but we'll see how it pans out here now, as Ubik's going to open things up here for the members of PiTER. olofmeister goes right into Squeaky, though, and picks up 2 more kills, but at the same time, waterfaLLZ is able to pick up a second for his team, but it doesn't even matter, as JW from within side Z, he's going to be able to hold strong, drops spaze along with jmqa, taking both of those players out. And now waterfaLLZ is going to be the final player left alive. The plant comes down, and both members of Fnatic are just going to run over towards waterfaLLZ to take him down. So Fnatic starts it off fast once again. Same story as the previous map, and now they're going to go directly into this pistol round. Coming in strong, they go right for the rush, and it works out great. Heading into that A site, they clear it out super quick, and even back over there as well through Z, they just run right through it, shut down the kills, not letting any defense rotate in there, and they're going to pick it up to start things off in their favor once again. So for PiTER, they're just going to go for a 5-7 buy-up. No scouts or anything coming in for them. It's just going to be the 5-7 armor, and really not a whole lot of utility either. And now olofmeister just going to lead the charge for his team. He is going to have to deal with a crossfire potentially in a second, as he hasn't checked out what's going on in Checkers, but as he moves in, that player from within Checkers, not going to be able to grab him. Now he picks up both of them, jmqa and Ubik, both going to fall. There is potentially going to be a rotate coming in through Checkers, but the big story here is now going to be flusha waiting for this rotate, but flusha can't find any of those shots, so facecrack is going to be able to take him down. Nonetheless, the plant goes down, and now it's in a 3-on-4 situation here with PiTER, still trying to work for a retake situation, still trying to get themselves in position to even move back in for that retake as of this point, and honestly, it doesn't even look like they're going to go for it, just going to line themselves up for exits. Facecrack has been able to pick up this gun off of flusha's corpse, and it won't really be worth it here, as although, yes, they could maybe get a little bit of damage on these guys, it's not like they can go for a 3rd-round buy or anything like they could if they were on the T side, so it just won't really be too beneficial to these guys if they were to go for it here. So now from Fnatic, they're going to pick up a second point nice and confidently too, and maybe in a second we'll have 2 of these players duking it out. I think waterfaLLZ ended up getting spotted out there by JW, so that's going to be another kill that they pick up. Another 5-7 armor buy that unfortunately will not be carried into the next round there. Spaze, along with facecrack, weren't able to survive, so facecrack should be able to toss that gun over to a teammate, which is going to do it through waterfaLLZ there as he throws that over towards him. But for Ubik and jmqa, they've got nothing left in this round. A 5-7 is going to get bought up by Ubik, but that I think is going to be the only additional thing that they have going into this round, as it'll be very, very light from these players once again. Facecrack, he's going to have to work a big push at this point, and he's just going to take that right inside of A main potentially here, and that could be quite a few kills if he plays this out right. Working around the corner, he's going to drop the bomb here, falls back, but unfortunately gets caught by KRIMZ on the way out, so he's not going to be able to escape, and they'll get a 1-for-1 trade to keep things even. flusha falls back, watching for any more of aggression that could be coming out there through potentially Squeaky, but not going to be catching any of that either, as the rest of the players here, they're just sitting nice and safe on the site. spaze a little bit overexposed as he pushes forward there into that little bit of a jump spot, but KRIMZ is going to be able to see him as he comes back inside of A-man, and they'll shut him down. Now flusha is going to work over here towards middle to get some better control there, along with JW as they take control, and now waterfaLLZ, he's also going to get run over by olofmeister. A great pop flash comes out from him. He finds the kill, now spots the last two players over here inside of the A side, and oh, that shot from olofmeister just flicks it onto Ubik, shuts him down. jmqa at the very least gets the trade, but that's all they're going to be able to find this time. flusha with a quick trade out again, takes out the final player from PiTER. And there we go, 3-0 for Fnatic to start things off into their favor. They started off very well once again. olofmeister will, I'm assuming, go for the AK buy in a second. No op being picked up here just as of yet. There's definitely enough money in the bank to say that they could have gone for this op buy, but it doesn't look like they're going to want to take the chance on it, considering it hasn't been super duper potent for these guys as of yet in this matchup versus PiTER. So I guess the AKs are working just fine, and they'll stick to the basics as far as that is concerned. But again, it's going to be an A main push. Nothing really out of the ordinary as far as that is concerned. From the players on PiTER, we've got one boosted up inside of the vent, so they're going to have a pretty good eye as to what's going on in middle there. And if JW does continue to press forward here, it doesn't actually look like jmqa is spotted inside the vent, so JW is actually going to push out in the open. Thankfully, waterfaLLZ will win the trade, but at a heavy cost to himself, and jmqa should have been able to spot that a little bit earlier. Just unfortunate that the smoke, I believe possibly a flash too, did obscure his vision a little bit. But there's facecrack and spaze. They're going to pick up 2 additional kills. flusha taking some heavy damage, but he's now going to be out in the open here. Can't pick up that bomb just as of yet, but they're very cautious as to what may be happening back over here by the forklift. And now the rotation is coming in a big way. There's KRIMZ and flusha getting 2 kills in a row there to trade it back. Now they bring it into a 2-on-1 as KRIMZ is going to fall at this point. He's the final player left from Fnatic. And as he pushes forward, looking for these 2 last kills to try and maybe solidify this. Ubik getting very low, and still plenty of time to play with this one too. He's sitting down at about 35 seconds left in order to push forward with this one. But KRIMZ is going to move up, looking for jmqa. A little bit of trouble with the spray, so not going to find him, and now they know where he is. But Ubik as well can't really press out against him as he's only got that 5 HP, but he's going to find himself in the open, and jmqa is going to pick up the shot for PiTER. So that's going to be the first round going onto the board for these guys. They respond on the first gun round, so they will pick that up. And now Fnatic are going to be tested here going into the next one, as they are essentially going to have to buy themselves out here. JW having to invest 2 guns in order for everybody to actually go for a buy up on the rifles there. And that will be pronax, who was a little bit poor, so unfortunately they had to buy it up for him. But Fnatic, they're overall good intentions, but PiTER just were able to respond to that a lot better, of course, now that they had the big guns in their hands. And I think Fnatic took that sort of too whimsically, as they just tried to walk right into the site there. Traded out a little bit too much, as was often the problem in the first map there too, and this is going to be the same problem again as facecrack. Pick up 3 kills left and right. pronax and flusha will be able to find 2 more, so again it's an even trade, but you look at this, there's going to be a quick attempt at a retake coming out here from PiTER, and for the final 2 on Fnatic, they're not at the highest health pools, and not only this, but flusha's like falling back to get this really big flank on. If it works, it's going to be great, but we already saw this was a problem previously, so pronax is going to fall back. Thankfully, jmqa is focused a lot more of his attention onto A main at this point, so he's not going to be able to spot him in just a second here too. There you have it. pronax closes up the final kill as well. Some bad intel, it seems, coming out there from PiTER's end, and pronax was able to easily rotate away, get himself into quad. And for that final player on PiTER's end, definitely was thinking for some reason it had gone over there towards forklift or whatnot, but that was obviously not the case. He's way back in quad, and that was an easy shutdown for those guys to work for. So again, Fnatic get themselves right back into the swing of things here as they take the lead. 5 AKs coming into the mix. PiTER, broken economies, they're just going to get reset once again. And now they have to sit back with the 5-7s. Not even really any armor behind it. Ubik's the only player that can do that, and already there. 3 just walk their way out towards middle, and olofmeister shuts it down. Takes down waterfaLLZ, and now they're through middle. Now they've got control of a very important area of the map. And overall, not a whole lot of resistance to stop them from moving up. JW with a nice headshot pop there. Takes down facecrack. spaze is going to jump out, try to find a response on olofmeister, but he can't get it. And now he's revealed himself here, and as he tries to go inside of A main, KRIMZ is waiting for him. Down he goes. And for Fnatic, A site's wide open. They can just walk right into that. Ubik and jmqa are going to be the final 2 left alive, but they're completely away from this battle at this point. One is sitting inside of Z, a second one trying to rotate from the B site to get himself over towards Truck, but I have a bad feeling that as soon as he pops his head out, and as soon as he gets clear of this smoke, might find a very quick death waiting for himself here. And there's going to be JW moving inside of Z, catching one of them, and now jmqa is also going to get dropped by flusha there to give Fnatic their 5th point. So for very solid round there coming out from Fnatic. As PiTER, unfortunately, didn't really have a whole lot to respond to that with on their eco round. Now they're going to be able to get the guns back into their hands. And for PiTER too, like I said, nothing really special coming out in that eco round. Just try to take up default positions, try to hold things, and unfortunately for themselves there, it was just not meant to be, essentially, because of the money situation that had panned out there. So, Fnatic, JW is just going to absolutely spray down waterfalls right at the beginning of this round. Fnatic once again start themselves off strong as they go very, very aggressively. And like we talked about before, this has been kind of hit or miss, but so far seems to be going very well, of course, as they've already brought PiTER down to just 2 players. And I think that's just honestly the case here for Fnatic, is they kind of really don't care how these rounds go. They know the advantage that they have over this team at this point, and they're just going to try to push it to the limit as far as playing these rounds are concerned. They just played super aggressively, and we've seen that if PiTER can kind of get into their face, they have often had some pretty good chances to retaliate to it and pick up a couple kills themselves. Like facecrack there tries to go a little bit more offensively and moves into a position that he knows Fnatic players are going to be pushing him from, but that only yields him 1 additional kill. pronax is able to very quickly trade him out, and again now another point on the board for Fnatic, and we go into another unfortunate save for PiTER as they've only got about a 3-round losing bonus at this point, and they just invested very heavily into that previous round, but they might have been better off going for a double save there. But with them falling behind like this, it's not surprising to see them go for an aggressive buy-up just to try and keep themselves close, and at the very least get some damage onto the Fnatic players. olofmeister opens things up with another kill for himself and the members of Fnatic at this point. And as for PiTER, again, we're not really expecting too much from them. They are going to try to get a little bit aggressive there from the back B halls, but this movement over here towards middle has basically stopped that from happening. So JW is going to open up with another kill again as they just roll into that A site, and I think he's actually happenstancing himself a little bit more over towards middle. Yeah, he's picked up the kill there, but not catching on a JMQ, so he's going to be able to pop up, but he can't find a kill. He's surrounded, but he picks up 1, looking for the second here on a JMQ, and JMQ thankfully is going to be able to save that, but at a heavy cost to himself, including 1 teammate, and bringing him down to 23 HP, and now Fnatic has full control of the A site, so they're going to be pushing him, and even though he's going to fall back into the garage here, he's going to regroup with a teammate. They both have AKs, but they should have a pretty good idea, I should say, where both of these players are, so I imagine that Fnatic are just going to move to try and hunt down these final 2 players, take them out of the mix, and prevent those AKs from being scavenged into the next round. They may not, to be honest, as well, as looking at Fnatic here. Their money is not... I mean, their money's good, like, in terms of what you would expect from a normal team, but I think from the lead Fnatic has, it's a little bit underscored. And regardless there, KRIMZ is being a little bit too cautious. JMQ is going to be able to sort of just shut him down there nice and easily with a headshot, and pronax, as he works his way outside of the B site, he can't catch anything either, so Fnatic won't pick up any additional kills. 2 free AKs for PiTER going into this 9th gun round here, and as for the members of Fnatic, excuse me, the rebuys will be coming out from them. We can see some of those players getting a little bit lower, but they're still in a very good position as far as what they have is concerned, and their overall stack of money is concerned. Like I talked about before, they were in a good position, I think, leading up 6 points and being on the streak that they're on. I think they would expect to have just a little bit more cash, as we've often seen teams just shut it down from this point forward, but with how aggressively Fnatic is playing things out here in these rounds, it is not too surprising to see the money just being a little bit lower, because they are trading out in a lot more cases if PiTER picks up those kills, but Fnatic is very well aware of this one and is factoring it into their decisions. So Fnatic, although they do try to work their way into this A side initially, get a little bit of bite back there, but they do manage to pick up an early kill on a waterfall. It's nice damage over here on a facecrack. JMQ gets pressured by pronax, but is able to handle that with the Romith on the site. So he's going to shut him down there. The rest of the team now try to push in behind it. But as we can see here, olofmeister sneaking around. He's going to be able to get the ROP kill there. Takes down JMQ. Now they've got control of this site. No other resistance on it here from the members of PiTER as of yet, as the rest of them were back over there on the A site. And flusha as well, just popping one of there to take spaze out of the mix, as he's going to try to work his way outside of that smoke into the corner, but not even realizing there's a little bit of a hole there, so flusha just waits for it within the pit, and now these final 2 again are in the same situation where it's just not really going to be worth it to try and go for a retake now. Facecrack sitting at 14 HP, Ubeak, he's got a little bit of, he's got some flashes and whatnot, but still, with the money that PiTER is going to have and the money problems that they've been suffering for most of this half, it just won't be worth it for them to continue pressing into Fnatic. And Fnatic are established at this point, too, as they talked about before, so getting these kills on them is not really going to matter. An economical victory will not be a victory anymore for PiTER. It will be, just, okay, they bring the money down a little bit, and they can just buy right through it anyways. They need to focus up on saving as many rifles as they possibly can, trying to get as many more gun rounds as they can into the mix here, and overall just trying to bring back this scoreline, because if it continues on the way it is now, Fnatic are going to be looking extremely strong, and potentially could be looking at probably around 12 to 13 points, assuming PiTER can even sneak away with 2 to 3 more additional rounds. So there's going to be Fnatic again. A lot of their players getting over that 10k margin, as we can see. We got 2 over it right now. pronax and flusha. Flusha specifically just under 2k away from being at max money. money bonus. And again, it's so quick from them. They're going to roll right in, but spaze holds it up with 2 opening kills, gets a nade one. JW's going to pop out, though, finds 2 to respond to it on himself. And now they're going to be into this site. The rotations from PiTER, unfortunately, they did not have enough proactive presence in this site to stop this rush from Fnatic. So waterfaLLZ is going to have to shut down JW. He does this, so again, they have the advantage. But as he wraps this corner, I'm not sure if he realizes flusha is going to be right here, but flusha inches his way out. Can't hit the opening shot, but olofmeister comes in there for the support. Now brings us into a 2-on-2 situation. jmqa had a good angle there to go over onto flusha and olofmeister, but couldn't finish off the shot as a nade bounced his way, and jmqa just out in the open, hoping the flusha would peek him, but it's not going to happen. And olofmeister just finishes off the remaining players there, picks up the 3K for Fnatic, and now they're going to be sitting 9-1. Still at a huge advantage. flusha at the max money there to start this round off, and the other players getting closer and closer and closer to it here. And to be honest, flusha might want to start playing the charity game here, starting to donate some money to his teammates, as unfortunately they're not building up as much as he is here at this point. So they're going to want to have those extra assets when we could see the potential turnaround here from PiTER, and if they start to pick up a couple rounds. But so far that hasn't happened, and PiTER are getting absolutely dunked over here on cash at this point. Their money in a very awkward spot once again too. They're going to make a push over here towards the back B halls, but they're ready for it here. pronax already catching one. JW finding a second. Ubi getting a response though and looking for this kill over here on a KRIMZ, but waterfaLLZ is actually going to rotate in and steal that away there. So they're going to drop the bomb, and this is great now because Fnatic, it's kind of a hollow entry over here onto the A site. They get control, but now they don't have a bomb, and they've just got to deathmatch the final few kills anyway. Thankfully, because of the advantage they gained on the A site, it's not going to be too big of a problem for them. Ubi gets a nice flash. It's going to be able to take down olofmeister, so he brings us into a 1-on-2 once again as flusha starts to wrap back around over onto him as well, but pronax also looking to get to close in quarters in these guys, but Ubi just stuck over here in this transitionary hall, and now he's kind of lost control of the bomb. He's going to throw a couple nades out here just to hopefully pull back these players, and one connects on a flusha, but nonetheless he picks up the bomb. He's heard it though, and a nice shot goes on a pronax, brings it down to 10 HP, but nonetheless he's going to lose control of it. With all the damage that he's done over here onto both flusha and pronax, I think it's pretty feasible that we honestly may be able to see Fnatic's, or apologies, PiTER's last player clutch this one out and finally get them a second round, but as he jumps down, it's not going to happen. pronax with a nicely lined headshot there, shuts down Ubi, and Fnatic will pick up another round, remaining completely unstoppable as far as this half is concerned for themselves. flusha still again at max money, but doesn't really seem to be caring too much about that as the rest of his teammates sink down. Apologies, specifically KRIMZ sitting at about 3.8k there as the lowest player at this point. Could have used a little bit more of a donation, but not going to be happening. And PiTER, of course, just buying out everything they can, which is not going to be much for a lot of their players. They can get rifles into the mix here, and they've got, you know, a couple flashbangs here or there, but in terms of utility, they're really missing a whole lot that they could be using here to try and hold off this push a little bit better. The smokes and whatnot are going to dissipate very quickly, and in fact, the only one that's still left here is Ubi to try and hold off the B set a little bit longer. Should mention too that there's already been a kill scored over here by JW, who had pushed his way over towards the middle, so that's going to shut down a player trying to peek out towards white box. He's not going to be able to grab everything though. And now JW and the rest of Fnatic push their way up, probably for a highway push onto the A site. Could really go either way, though, as they haven't committed just as of yet to either of these sites. But now with more players aligning themselves inside of A main, it's definitely going to rock into there. A good flash comes out, though, and it leaves JW completely overexposed. So Ubi, again, gets a good kill there, but pronax, unfortunately, aligned with a trade. And this just has become the consistent problem here at this point, it seems, for PiTER's players, as facecrack is going to get traded out there, too. Is it? Yeah, we can see a pretty consistent amount of trades happening because of how aggressively Fnatic is playing that. But for one thing, a lot of that is only happening because of the playstyle Fnatic is exercising here in this map, and also as well, PiTER, unfortunately, just doesn't seem to really be able to hold themselves initially. Only once they get the intel out there, they seem to be able to respond. Just in terms of the, like pure reaction from PiTER, it just doesn't seem to be on point, and that sort of revolves to the individual game sense and player skill of some of the individuals on this team at this point. So jmqa will have to react to pronax there, but again, he's relying off of the info that he already has, and he's obviously knowing that some of these players are going to be pushing into it. There's not intel already on the field here for the members of PiTER. We almost always see an opening kill or two break by the way of Fnatic as they just play super aggressively rolling in, and PiTER just don't seem to be able to respond to that. Once they get the calls out, they can pop their players out and get themselves into a good amount of trade positions, but they can't find the additional, you know, 1 to 2 kills that are needed to flush their way back into the lead and get themselves a man up. And even when they do, again, Fnatic in most cases seem to be able to handle that as well. So for PiTER, it just doesn't seem to be aligning itself very properly here. And not only are they playing a little bit too aggressively on the CT side to where they can only get these 1-for-1 trades, but oftentimes they leave themselves completely overexposed to the point where Fnatic, even if they are a man or two down, they can just bring it right back for themselves and pick up an additional round once more. So we're going into the 13th. 3 more rounds to go before this half is going to conclude, but Fnatic already with an absolutely monster scoreline, looking to extend it once again here into this round. JW and pronax scoring the first 2 kills. KRIMZ sneaking his way up to Z, finding another one here. And spaze along with facecrack are both actually going to be together at this point, but you know, what can they do? There's nothing left for these players to work towards here. They boost spaze up onto top, but KRIMZ has already spotted this, so the call has come out for anybody else that is going to be lurking around middle, which at this point would just be pronax, and KRIMZ just aligns the shot over there on his spaze. So that's going to take him down. Facecrack is going to be the final player left in play here. He moves over towards truck and lines up a shot over onto, at the very least, flushes, so they can take down one of these players, but the money's just grown to such a strong point that the skills aren't going to matter unless he can pull off an incredible 1 versus 5 clutch, which obviously that isn't going to be happening. So Fnatic again pick up another one, and for PiTER, they continue to have those same problems that they've had before, and this time it even elevates even worse. And you could tell, too, the morale on the side of PiTER just continues to get lower and lower at this point, as unfortunately their ability to hold off these Fnatic pushes just decreases over time, and they're just not going to be able to find themselves in a good spot to try and stop really any of these pushes that come in. And Fnatic have been abusing this more and more. They've just been playing more and more aggressively. PiTER are trying to get those responses as waterfalLLZ presses forward. Gets some good damage off onto both flusha and JW, but it's not enough to score a kill. So flusha gets a good response there, finds it within the smoke, shuts him down. And now for PiTER, some of their final players, they're definitely going to be relying on this A site hole here. 2 of their players are going to be spaze along with facecrack. They're going to try and hold it. They rotated an additional player in. They're going to push a beak for it, so the positioning isn't bad here, and they're going to pick up 2 kills. Finally, this is going to be good as Fnatic playing a little bit too slowly. There's spaze with another one, but KRIMZ gets the response. Now it's just on a flush and a 1-on-3. And finally, it looks like we may have another round going onto the board here for PiTER as of yet. And there you have it. Ubik shuts it down. A 12th point or apologies, a 2nd point comes onto the board for PiTER. And Fnatic now, of course, still with plenty of cash to go for the rebuy at this point. They're going to get themselves into another round. PiTER will do the same thing, but they've got the op in play now at this point, too, for waterfalLLZ, so that's going to be an easy pickup for them. They get that for free, so that saves them a lot of money. If they just naturally bought for all their players, they wouldn't have been able to afford this, so they get a free pickup on this one. And it's going to make it a little bit more imposing for Fnatic, but to be honest, if Fnatic, like, from the way that this half has been going, if they just go back to the quick strat, where they just everybody push their way into the site, then they may be looking just at another round for themselves here. But flusha picks up the 2 opening kills. It's happening back over by the B site. That's cleared out, and as soon as he realizes it, they're probably going to shift their perspective over to there, too. Another kill, unfortunately, goes by the way of PiTER, as KRIMZ tries to play a little bit too aggressively. Spaze from within side of A main also picks up an additional one here, but they haven't dropped the bomb. It's been able to rotate itself away over here towards middle once again. And flusha, although he initially takes control of things back over here on the B side, has to push his way back up because he doesn't have bomb control. waterfaLLZ looking for the op shot, but he can't find it. Misses 2, finally connecting it on the 3rd. And not a whole lot of damage was traded back over here, so Fnatic, unfortunately, not in the best position. I don't know what's going on in this final round here, but it does look like things have fallen by the wayside just a little bit here, as now PiTER, they're going to be stuck with 3 players alive, and they do have to split them up a little bit here, but Fnatic as well forced to make a choice into where they want to take this bomb, and hope it's going to be towards the right site here. And obviously, I'm assuming they know that there's going to be that 1-1 split, so they've got to be careful of the mid turnaround here to play within C, but oh my goodness, they're not even going to need it. spaze popping right out, finds JW out in the open. It's going to shut him down, and now it's just pronax. He's going to try to make his entry here, but it's not going to happen, and waterfaLLZ gets the nice shot and neatly placing the bomb there onto the top of the boxes as well. So I guess again, PiTER managed to turn things around here as we headed towards the end of that first half. But for so much of it there, it was just Fnatic essentially running over everybody on the side of PiTER there, that I don't know that this second half is really going to leave enough room for PiTER to wiggle their way back into this matchup at this point. Fnatic just have such a strong lead, and if they pick up this pistol, it's essentially GG at that point, because unless we see one of these rounds being picked up on an eco from PiTER, or that third round rifle buyup comes in, it's just not going to look as strong as it should be here, and there's going to be way too much of a cushion for Fnatic to bring up against. If they'd gone, you know, maybe like 9-6 again, I would say that there's potentially that chance to happen here back as we switch over the sides, and as PiTER gets themselves onto another one of their stronger sides, but just not going to be looking so good here. And man, you can even tell Fnatic just have absolute confidence here as flusha playing with the dripping water. Getting some tiny Chinese water torture just as he's sitting with inside checkers. So olofmeister opens it up first, finds a second from within inside the corner, looking for the 3rd over here onto Ubik, but it's going to be KRIMZ that picks up the 3rd kill. They know where Ubik is though, so they can just roll right into him, but he holds his ground for now. However, JW rolls in Batman style, picks up the kill onto Ubik, and the final one onto jmqa as well. So there you have it. And that's going to be another round for the players on Fnatic onto the board. And we've got a pause coming in here from PiTER, but I'm assuming this is TAC. Yeah, timeout is called, but I'm gonna be oh, timed out. Okay, I thought he said timeout, as if like somebody wanted to figure out what they were doing, but looks like somebody actually disconnected. So facecrack is gonna drop from the game, and we'll have a few moments here, but I'm gonna be honest, not a whole lot to discuss at this point. Fnatic, obviously, with this stellar T side aggression, PiTER unfortunately, I already went over the main problems that I saw from them on their CT side, where they were just, you know, they were very unreliable when it came to picking up opening trades there. There would almost always be a free kill that would go by the way of Fnatic right from the get-go, so they would pick up those kills, and then, you know, although they would be able to trade from that point forward, the problem they were always working against for the most part was that Fnatic would always be a man up against them, so they would be able to evenly trade, but they would never be able to get themselves into a 2-for-1 position, or be able to trade out the kills in such a way that it would even out the score or bring it back for them. And even when they could do that, Fnatic were able to recover from this one, as they, for the most part, would be already in their post-plant situations, and it would be PiTER who was under pressure, and that is the situation where PiTER just can't really seem to be able to perform that well, is when they're under pressure, when all the opponents are just rolling their way and they have no clue where it's coming from. That's really the kryptonite as far as PiTER is concerned, and if you're not able to manage that, then I fear that Fnatic, with the aggressive T-side strat, at least they were playing close, are just going to run you over. And now they pick up the first kill. jmqa is going to try to surprise olofmeister. He's going to succeed in doing so, but KRIMZ is there to make up for it. Picks up 2 additional kills. JW now popping out. He's going to find another one there as well. Takes down facecrack, and spaze gets a response at the very least, but shut down by pronax. The Kobe comes in. That's going to take out spaze, and there we have it. 14 points now for Fnatic. PiTER looks for the response. They get the plant here at the very least, but with them not getting it on the first round, and with PiTER having to go for a Tech 9 investment, this kind of kills the third round buy if they did want to go for it. So you can see the money just isn't there. jmqa says, screw it, I'm just going to do it anyway. So he's going to have the armor and the Galil, but not really anything else. And as for the rest of his team, a lot of mollies and smokes to work with. So at the very least, this buy is going to allow them on the Tech 9 buy to get a nice amount of utility. And those 2 Galils will be in play from jmqa and spaze. But for the other 3 players, they're down to Tech 9 still. They've got the utility, but they've got to work together as a unit in order to make this utility buy worth it here, and hopefully go into that site with flying colors. Spaze will wrap around. He's going to come in from Squeaky here, but Fnatic's not going to give them any room to work with. They're just going to get aggressive. Ubik finds 1 as he holds off olofmeister, but KRIMZ picks up 2 more directly after this now. And they're going to try to rotate in, and they're going to try to get that Squeaky player in play at this point, but spaze still holding back. Now he's mollied off. Now he's got to try to fall back. And although we're going to see jmqa now joining the fight from the B side, it's not even going to matter. KRIMZ picks up 1. It's traded back out, so they get control of the bomb back. But over here on top of the Shroud spot, JW is still holding these players off, and I think he may want a knife kill on that player that's coming in there from A main. But nonetheless, jmqa comes in. He's going to be able to finish off JW. flusha gets the response, and jmqa actually still alive and well, but now he's down to 4 HP. And for pronax, he's sitting at almost full HP at this point. In fact, I think he is at full HP. And jmqa is just going to have to fall back, go for the plan on the B side, which is good. At the very least, he's going to be able to escape with this. But for pronax specifically, he might want to try to find a rifle on the ground, and that's exactly what he's going to do here. Picks that up, starts to fall back. He's got a smoke and a flash to work with here on this retake, as he's going to give him a lot of time, but he's actually going to get aggressive here. jmqa might pick up the kill. He's going to try to find those shots, but he misses, so he's got to fall back. Thankfully, though, there's plenty of time left to get that flan off, so he's going to be able to do that. He puts it in the open, and he's going to fall back over here to a checker's position. So this is a very, very safe spot here for jmqa. pronax, if he plays it on site and he plays this too passively, then we will be seeing this round go by the way of PiTER, but we'll see now as that smoke comes out. He's going to try to bait him out with the smoke. And remember, he's only at 4 HP, so jmqa has to just do this at the right time. And oh, he goes inside. I don't think he realizes it, and jmqa picks up the frag. He's going to shut down pronax. And that was awkward, because to be honest, pronax had everything he needed to set that up and win that, but he sort of like... what I thought he was going to do is I thought he was just going to set the smoke up and wait for the peak to come out. Obviously, he doesn't know that jmqa is sitting at 4 HP, but he would have very quickly realized that as he fired his gun. The thing that happens is he goes inside the smoke to do the fuse, assuming a couple seconds later that, okay, he's not going to peek me from here, I should be good to go and go into the smoke and defuse. But jmqa actually catches him as he's walking in the smoke, and he's able to very easily catch him out. So that jmqa actually gets a little bit lucky on the timing there, and pronax makes a little bit of a mistake that is going to cost Fnatic another round. But again, nothing off of their shoulder. They're still leading very good into this matchup at this point here, with a 10-round cushion against PiTER, so I don't think they have any reason to be worried just as of yet. He's going to push on a counter boost there, picks up a kill, gets the intel on a second here, almost gets the spray, and is going to finish him off on the second peak there, shuts down spaze, and now more pushing forward. KRIMZ picks up an additional kill on a face crack, and there we go. jmqa is going to have to look for a response. He picks up a shot on a JW. Ubik as well rolls into this site, but they haven't got the bomb here just as of yet. Unfortunately, Ubik's going to get caught off guard, able to respond to it though, takes down pronax, and now the rest are moving in. The smoke comes out. We're seeing the rotations coming out from Fnatic. They still have 1 rifle in play, but unfortunately for KRIMZ, he's very low and won't be able to assist too much. Same story for Ubik though, as he's sitting down with just 1 HP at this point, and they're going to move back in. flusha takes some hits there. Same story for jmqa as he's dropped down to 36, so it's going to be a rough hold for PiTER here. Fnatic go right for it, but the same story. At this current point in time, Fnatic don't have any kits, so they're going to have to go for it, and flusha just finds Ubik in the smoke, and that was an easy kill with just 1 HP. Now they've got to shut down jmqa, clutched out last time, and now he's going to try to do it again. KRIMZ is trying to push forward over here into jmqa, but he shuts it down again. That's 2 clutches in a row now for jmqa. That one obviously a little bit easier to handle than the previous one, but he comes out on top with it. And there's going to be PiTER keeping themselves in this game for the time being. They're now less than 10 rounds away, but that's still a very, very, very long way away from them actually making this tie happen. And still an even longer way away, 11 rounds if my math is correct, from them actually being able to win out this game completely, whereas Fnatic, they're just 2 rounds away. And for PiTER, looking at their economy, it's not really secure as of yet either, so all Fnatic has to do, although they are going to be broken this time and they do have to go for a save, all Fnatic really has to do is they have to sit back, save this 1 round, and all they've got to do is really, at this point in time at least, they only have to win the 1 round, and that's immediately going to break PiTER's economy, and then they'll just have an eco round to work against, which, judging by the record so far, that should definitely go by the way of Fnatic as of this point, so... We'll wait to see exactly how PiTER try to push this offensive forward. They don't really know that they're on the eco yet, but they should get a pretty good feeling of it right about now. spaze is going to get that opening battle there. Versus JW. waterfaLLZ looking for another kill over here onto olofmeister. He's going to get some good damage to bring him down to about 2/3 of his HP, but that molly, it's connecting onto him in time, so he's going to be able to sit safely on the corner that he's in now. KRIMZ boosted up into the position there. He's going to shut down waterfaLLZ. Looks for the second one of the jmqa, but jmqa consistent as ever picks up another kill. olofmeister trades him out, but now the rest of the team rolls right in. They pick up the additional kills. 3 still left alive from PiTER, so again, it'll be that same position where the economy won't really be able to grow all that much, but it's also not going to shrink. It just stays in its same spot here. And that's good for Fnatic, because they keep it in that spot, and now they're going to go into another gun round themselves here and attempt to decrease it even more as they try to drop that money down. They try to get it into a manageable position as they try to win really the only, at this point in time, the 1 round that is needed for Fnatic to pick up the final point that is going to be needed where they break PiTER's economy and get themselves into a good spot to just win out this match outright, as they're going to be at 2-0 position here if they can win this match. flusha gets into a long-range battle over here with jmqa, and right there, that's basically the best asset on PiTER that's gone now. They don't really have him anymore. olofmeister, good shot from spaze, is going to be able to shut down olofmeister. Ubik coming outside of Squeaky, they take out KRIMZ as well, but JW over here on highway looks for the response, gets a headshot over here, but spaze is going to be able to pop out. He finds JW anyway, and now they're back in control again here. PiTER, I don't know how they've done this, but they've gotten themselves back into this play now, and flusha said to move over here towards the truck. The other rotation coming out from pronax is still super far away. He's still screwing around in B halls right now, as that bomb is just now getting itself into the spot here, overall into the site. And facecrack almost getting dropped there by flusha as he tries to work his way in, but the plant's going to come out from facecrack now. They leave it out in the open, and so much time being given for post plants to happen here too. It's going to be a rough retake for Fnatic, especially with flusha's HP in consideration here. But here comes pronax working inside of A main. spaze is going to pop him, gets the headshot, takes him out of the play, and now flusha, unfortunately stuck by truck. He might just want to fall back and save at this point, but also at the same time, it's flusha, and they've got still as big of a lead as they have, so he might just decide to say screw it and try to go for this push. He's going to squeak his way out, but everybody on the players from PiTER are starting to fall back, so this is exactly what flusha wants to do. Looking for that additional economy damage if he can find it. And now that everybody else has fallen out with that bomb out to below, he's got to fall back himself to get out of harm's dodge. He'll do so, and PiTER will pick up the 7th point. They're halfway there now, but they're still going to have this rifle in play from Fnatic going into the 22nd round. Nobody else really going to be able to afford too much of else, though. olofmeister goes for a deagle buy-up. I imagine we might see another one from JW, but if not, he's just going to sit on the default pistol or the P250 that he goes for his buy-up now on. And PiTER again into a good position, but still no op, interestingly enough. As, again, their money hasn't really gotten to a secure position. spaze is in a good spot for that, but the rest of the team doesn't really seem to be too confident in their ability with an opper. So they're going to push through. Some good nade response comes out from Fnatic, though. But his spaze presses forward again. He's a headshot machine. Picks up another kill on a pronax as he moves into this one. flusha looking for the response from within that smoke, and he's going to find it. JW finds a kill over here on the spaze as well. And jmqa trying to take down JW from behind the sandbags there. He's going to do it, but at a heavy cost, as now he's revealed himself. And flusha knows his push is coming, but Ubik comes in for the support. Is going to be able to take down flusha. And KRIMZ from behind white box here. He has an AK in play. It's going to look to respond to some of these guys as they're all out in the open, but Ubik is trained very well. Is able to respond to this one. There's olofmeister with the deagle. Can't connect the kill. He finds it, though, and now this puts a gutter in their plans, as now he's got an AK once again. He's going to be able to toss this molly out, and the two have to push on him. The molly goes over the bomb, and now they're held back. It's 54 seconds, but it's just on olofmeister with 33 HP, and Ubik again lines it up. Almost loses that trade as he's dropped down to 4 HP. But Fnatic once again cannot maintain. They keep the damage consistent, but it's really just starting to build up off of the merit of the fact that PiTER are just winning out rounds outright, and they're on the T side, so obviously those losses are going to be a lot more forgiving this time. We can see Ubik at 6.1 thousand, jmqa sitting at 4.6 thousand. He won't be able to drop it, Ubik should be able to, so if we see Fnatic finally coming out with another round here, then we're going to be looking at PiTER probably with still 3 rifles in play, and they wouldn't be cooked just as of yet. But nonetheless, a double op setup now from the hands of Fnatic. Olofmeister and JW picking those ones up, and Olofmeister already putting his to use from within side of Squeaky. Picks up the kill, falling back, and is going to be happy with that frag, so he moves away from this one. And the bomb for PiTER still stuck over there towards middle as they're trying to work for picks, but with the additional kill already going by the way of Olofmeister and the rest of Fnatic, that's not what they want to have to work with here for the rest of this half. And for the rest of this round as well. So they're going to pull themselves back outside of A main, potentially, to regroup over towards middle. Probably going to work a B take if they can find it, but there's still heavy presence from there on Fnatic as well. You've got flusha along with pronax still sitting onto this site, both within the general vicinity of the platform too, ready to hold it. And inside of middle, JW should be able to hear all this noise, so he's going to know this push is coming, but he's going to get aggressive, moves in here, looking for the shot into waterfalls. He's going to find it. Flusha shuts down an additional player. JW gets a little bit too aggressive, so facecrack is going to be able to take him down. When PiTER gets spotted, PiTER's facecrack, I should say, gets spotted on the way, and he's going to pick up a nice headshot onto KRIMZ and finds him on a flush as well, but pronax is there to shut the rest of it down. He's going to take out facecrack. He'll be one of the final 2 members surviving, and there's going to be Fnatic picking up their 15th round now, just 1 more away from closing things out, and the buys are going to start coming out from PiTER. We'll see what exactly they can afford. It's actually going to be 4 AKs, as I correct myself from earlier. Unfortunately, it leaves one of their players that should have been able to have a utility buy. Without the utility, that's going to be the risk they take. And then, of course, facecrack is going to be reduced down to a Galil. But again, because of this choice, is still going to be able to go for a nice utility kit, and will actually have the only molly on this team, and he's going to do right from the get-go here. Fnatic getting far too aggressive at this current point in time. Ubik and facecrack picking up the first 2 kills there. Olofmeister and JW unfortunately falling. And now the rest of the members of PiTER going to move to regroup just outside of A main. They'll probably just go for a push into there. Now that really hasn't, at least as far as I can tell, been challenged as of yet. You still have KRIMZ sitting up on top here on the rafters. So as they push their way in, if they don't spot him right from the get-go, that could get rough. And there we go. pronax finds 1 kill. Some good aiming there coming out from KRIMZ. Doesn't go for it yet. Waits till he's in a good spot. Drops down, finds 1 and 2. Traded up by spaze though as he comes up from highway. So unfortunately, if he had found that 30, might have been able to secure this round and this match for Fnatic, but it's not there just yet. It's going to have to be a clutch from pronax as he pushes forward, but he's completely blinded, holding that W key. A big mistake. And Ubik is going to be in a great spot just to mow him down. PiTER get a response. Now they're back into this. 9 points onto the board here versus Fnatic, and now Fnatic are going to get reset. So they're going to buy out what they have, it seems, at least in the case of pronax on this round. Olofmeister, I expect him to go for a little bit of a buy as well. Only if I'm master him so we can afford the armor and everything as well. But still, now Fnatic, they're not secure just as of yet here, and PiTER could very well work their way back into this. PiTER will go for a very quick play over here to get themselves inside of middle. And interestingly, to note this here too, kind of a bit of a shift from what we've had in the overall strategy from PiTER, is that waterfalLLZ is now actually going to go for the scout buy up. And KRIMZ holding middle in the meantime with 2 deagle shots. Gets the headshot on the deagle after picking up Ubik there by spraying him down. And now they spotted flusha back over there near Sunroom, jmqa that is, but they're going to push it. And now they've pretty much got control of this too. If flusha catches this, which he's going to, even if he dies in this situation, keep in mind, you know, he's actually going to be one of the players with rifles, so that's not going to be too good. He gets 1 kill before he falls. With waterfalLLZ and jmqa pick up 2 additional ones. And now Olofmeister and KRIMZ have to get in a position to counter this one out. KRIMZ moving himself over here, trying to get himself over to the B site, as they haven't actually confirmed it moving into there just as of yet. But they're going to definitely have that, I assume, in just a few minutes here, with Olofmeister sitting steady onto the heaven area of this site, watching out for the push to come in. He's going to be the first responder to it. And now you've got KRIMZ rotating in to get himself into a better spot. KRIMZ has to be a little bit careful, though, down at 39 HP, and Olofmeister too. Not going to do anything as of yet, but this nade's going to come in. Should do a decent amount of damage. waterfalLLZ gets hit by that a little bit, but he was already injured as well. He's dropped to 36 HP, but Olofmeister pops out, finds the first one, gets dropped, and now it's going to be all on the hands of KRIMZ at this point, but he's picked up an AK. He's going to close it out, and that's the end of it, folks. So there you go. 10-second defuse for KRIMZ, but he should still be able to manage it. And PiTER, they definitely make a case for themselves on the T side this time, but it's not going to be enough. So the final score of our second map here is going to be 16-9 in the favor of Fnatic. They're going to win the set 2-0. And they will once again come out of today with a victory here in the StarLadder League. And that's going to close out this match, guys. We're going to have another one. We had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, so unfortunately we can only cast one of the 2 games. And it was either going to be Vex versus Navi or TSM versus Titan. We obviously picked TSM versus Titan because it was the better matchup, but we're going to have a very long break between now and then. So if you want to stick around for that, we got plenty of time to go grab popcorn or whatever. If you have enjoyed this portion of the cast, you can go ahead and follow myself on Twitter. I'm at BLUCSGO, and I'll be back later, of course, for the second portion, but I'll be joined by 27-1 Hugo, so him and I are going to be doing the duo cast for that next one, which is going to be between TSM and Titan. We've got some time, though, if I have the schedule being read correctly in front of me, as it's going to start at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and I think it's 9 p.m. or 21 CEST. for all the Europeans that are watching at this point. And let me just confirm that one more time here. I know it was on the screen already, but I just want to make sure for you guys. And yep, according to what I still have on there, it's going to be starting at 21 CEST, guys. So it's going to be a little bit of a delay, but as soon as we're ready to rock and roll for it, we'll be back in about an hour and a half with the next game, which is going to be between TSM Titan here at the StarLadder StarSeries Season 14 European Group Stages.